What's up guys? Welcome back to my channel. Today I am sharing with you how I got my first investment property at 23 years old. So I feel like I have to preface this with how I even got into real estate investing to start, because I feel like before I was introduced to it, it's not something I ever really thought twice about. And I feel like it's kind of one of those things, like you don't know what you don't know until you do know, until you're opened into the world of real estate investing, which is something I've obviously have become very passionate about learning and getting into and wanting to do more of. I am definitely going to make a disclaimer. I am by no means a professional at this. I'm not claiming to, be here to teach you how to get rich off real estate investing. That is absolutely not what I'm trying to do here. Even if I tried, I couldn't, because I myself am very much still new to this. I just really enjoy learning about it. For me, it's something that is very exciting. There's so much potential in it. So yeah, I'll just get right into it. Basically how I got even interested, how me and my fiance Tyler, because he is my partner in all of this. Literally, I couldn't have done any of this without him. So how we got into it is Tyler was looking into getting his license for real estate investing. I had come across an ad on Instagram actually selling me on this like 2-hour workshop in Miami, and I was like, what do we have to lose? It's 2 hours, let's make a day of it. And we went, and it was really great. And they talked to us about rental properties and flipping houses and just how you can have this residual and passive income from real estate investing. And then at the end of the class, obviously, they sold us on another class. The first one was free. They sold us on a 3-day weekend. I think it was like 150 bucks, something along the lines of that. We felt like we would gain a lot, so we went ahead and got it. We did the 3-day weekend. It was really great. We learned a lot for what it was, the value that we spent being introduced to the topic and kind of getting the first load of information of the possibilities and opportunities within real estate investing. Definitely worth the $100 bucks we spent. Of course, the third day they tried selling us on a $60,000 program. Not a typo, $60,000. So I was shook, to say the least. I looked up the name of the program. I won't put them on blast, but the dude was an ex-NFL football player, so if you get their ad, take my information and do what you will with it. So I went home that night and I looked up the name of the guy who was running it, Scam, and I put the word scam after, and a bunch of stuff came up. And then I came across this website called BiggerPockets, and the rest was history. BiggerPockets is basically a resource for real estate investors, newbies, and experienced. It's a community. They have a podcast. They have tons of books, which I'm gonna get into here. I would say the last two or 3 years, I've just been diving deep into learning about real estate, listening to podcasts, reading up on forums, going to meetups, meeting other investors, contractors, real estate agents, and anyone we can. And yeah, so that is kind of, I felt like I couldn't share my story about my first deal without kind of prefacing it with how I got into it. So with that being said, there is a concept known as house hacking. That is what we decided to do as our first deal, because it's a great way to kind of get your foot in the door without taking on such a big risk. For those of you who don't know what a duplex is, it's basically a small apartment building with 2 units. After learning a lot about the real estate stuff, it seemed that the hardest part was finding contractors and dealing with contractors. Tyler works in construction, so we felt like it would be stupid to not take advantage of the skill that he already has. We looked for a duplex for 8 months consistently. So when I say 8 months, I mean we were going to see offers almost every weekend. We saw a lot of properties, and thank God for our realtor, because he was super patient with us, but we were very specific about what we wanted. And obviously when it's a huge investment like this, it's not something that you want to settle for. So we definitely didn't settle, and I'm so glad we didn't, because we're really, really happy with our first deal and what we got out of the deal. For the privacy of me and my fiance, I will not be disclosing where we ended up getting our property, but it is in the South Florida area. We knew what we wanted. We wanted something in a not so great area, but will be a great area in 10 years. That was really tough because what we could get with what we had gotten approved for was either in really bad condition or nice, but in a really bad area. We had gotten pre-approved before actually even looking. That's kind of the best way for realtors to take you seriously, is definitely to have a pre-approved letter of the mortgage amount. Something that I think also really helped us close our deal specifically, there's something called earnest money deposit. Something that contributed to getting our offer accepted, especially when you're competing with other investors. Like if it's just a house, you don't have to worry about cash offers getting the deal. When it's a duplex, the people who are also offering are investors, and a lot of them have cash. So to make a finance deal stronger, my biggest recommendation is already having your earnest money deposit in. I think it was around $5,000. It will be just a few $1,000s just to show them that you're legit, you're ready, you're real, you have the money, and you're like ready to go. So when you submit the offer, you have your pre-approval and you have your earnest money deposit in, and then it's kind of just in the seller's hands to sell to you or not, depending on your deal. We ended up putting offers in on, I think, about 4. We put in offers on 4, maybe even 5, and I definitely had my fair share of heartbreak. But this process is really something that you have to just trust the process and trust the universe that whatever is meant to be will truly be. I got my heart broken. There was one that I swore I needed to have. I was so stressed out about it for days, and then when they took a cash offer over our mortgage, I literally cried. When you're going into this, you have to remind yourself you can't get too excited about places because they can just slip out from under you just really quickly. It's so competitive, especially in my market of South Florida. There's tons of people constantly looking for deals, and they're always gonna have better deals. So basically, cash is king. So we were financing our place. What we got was an FHA loan. That's a first-time homeowner loan, which is great because we've only put 3.5% down versus a conventional loan, which is typically around 20%. I don't think a lot of people know about it. We knew we wanted to renovate because the units were not in great condition, and we have renovated one unit. The other unit actually isn't renovated yet, but we have it rented out to a tenant. She is awesome. We love her. She's the best first tenant. And maybe that's a bad thing because now that the bar is set so high for us and we're she's just so easy, and I know that's not always the case. Before we bought this property, that unit was already in a Section 8 program, and we decided to keep that, and we also inherited our tenant with the property, which was great because we didn't have to go through the process of screening tenants. And since we were gonna live in the other side, we were the other tenants. So we inherited her with the property. She is the sweetest woman, and she is in the Section 8 housing program, which is great because the government is basically direct depositing money into our account every month for her rent. So we never really have to worry about missed rents. We went all of COVID without one missed rent, so we didn't have to struggle to make up the difference for our mortgage payment. So it was really great. And yeah, I feel like I'm just blabbering. So when we renovated, we pretty much did a full gut of this unit. New floors, new kitchen, new bathroom. We took out, there were wall unit ACs. We took those out and replaced them with hurricane impact windows, which helps with insurance, to lower insurance costs in Florida. And then we installed HVAC, which is basically just a central AC unit. And the renovation process took about 2 months. It was intense. It was definitely intense, especially because we did all of the renovations ourselves between my fiance and his family, who helped out so much. It would have taken us a lot more time, and I would have had a lot more mental breakdowns if not for their help. So I'm so thankful for their help. They're all super handy, and they I don't know. They're so handy. It's crazy. But yeah, we did everything ourselves. The only thing we hired a contractor for was the electric, because you don't mess with electric if you don't know what you're doing, and running the air conditioning or hooking it up. We actually ran, I was in the attic. Yes, this is true. We were running the tubes for the AC to the different vents in the attic. I was literally in the attic, like crawling my way through. I was up there the other day too, setting up our security cameras. So there's a lot that I honestly like never thought I would be doing. We probably saved like somewhere around $15,000 just in labor costs by doing everything ourselves. But it was a 2-month process altogether, which isn't bad for a renovation. When we leave, we will probably be doing some renovations to the other unit. So that is basically the story, the gist of it. Oh my god, my cat. I definitely want to encourage you guys to do as much research as possible. These are the books that I've read. Actually, I haven't read the top 2, but these 3 books I read like 2 years ago. It is Long Distance Real Estate Investing, the book on flipping houses, and rental property investing. Ideally, the goal is to start doing long distance real estate investing, but for now, because we're comfortable and we know this market so well, we are sticking with this area. I think that could change. Okay, I feel like I have been running a marathon, or talking a marathon rather. I'm gonna get into the question and answers now, so here we go. How did you calculate total costs? So there's tons of calculators online that actually will help you with this, but definitely do your research. There's so much free knowledge and so many resources online for you to literally figure out these exact questions. I don't want to tell you the wrong thing, but definitely take into consideration closing costs. So we made sure we had our 3.5% saved, and then on top of that, the amount for closing costs. And I believe closing costs can range. It depends also on the amount that the property costs. So that I would honestly just type into Google like calculating closing costs, and that includes things like the realtor's percentage and like the title company's cost, all those fun things. Book recommendations on the subject. Honestly, BiggerPockets has their own publishing company, which is awesome. So they are putting out tons of books. If you're new to this, I would read How to Invest in Real Estate. The Ultimate Beginner's Guide to Getting Started. Would definitely go give that a read. This is the one that I haven't read because I honestly feel like I've listened to so many podcasts that I don't really need to. I might end up reading it anyways. I have the book on rental property investing. So it really depends what you want to get into. I would look at biggerpockets.com, see what books they have. These are all really great. They're pretty like hefty to get through. Like the text is small. So it's kind of just like, it's almost like a textbook, and you can count on it to really like show you every step of the way, which is nice. Next question is, what made you get a duplex versus a house, condo, townhome? So basically we knew we wanted to do the house hack. So with a house, there's no way to house hack it unless you add another room and rent out a room on Airbnb or something along the lines of that. But we definitely wanted like to have our own space and our own privacy, so that's why we went with the duplex option. How is it having tenants? No complaints so far, honestly. I feel like I've had such a good experience. I'm like kind of scared to get my next tenant. How much did you save up, and how did you find the right place? How long did it take? We saved up between the two of us $20,000, and that was to cover the cost of the down payment and to cover the cost of the closing cost. I'm laughing because the night before we closed, my wallet got stolen, so that was fun. How did you find the right place? We were very specific with what we were looking for. This place had a new roof, which is huge because a lot of the places that we were looking at had the roofs needed repair, they weren't in good shape, and that is like the most costly thing to fix on a property. So the fact that this had a new roof was definitely really appealing to us. And when we got it inspected, pro tip, make sure you get thorough inspections. That is, there's so much I could talk about honestly, so I'm gonna have to do a part 2. But when we got this inspected, it was in good shape structurally, no code violations. Those were all really big things to take into consideration. And we also got the pipes inspected, which you don't have to do, but I would recommend it, especially if it's an older house and they have cast iron pipes, because those are really costly to fix. When we got our pipes inspected, they said that they looked brand new, so that was definitely a plus. And the area that it's in, the surrounding area, is really, really nice. However, the immediate area is not so much. Let's just say I have chickens casually roaming my backyard. It's fine. But it's not really my dream place to live, but it is my dream investment property, which is the whole point. And also, while we were renovating, we weren't renovating for my taste. We were renovating for the average tenant's taste. So, you know, I wouldn't have done the backsplash that we did, or maybe even the floors that we did. But because there's going to be tenants in here after, I wanted to be as appealing as possible to as many people as possible. And it took 8 months to find this place. 8 months of constantly going to showings, making offers. It was a long period of time and a lot of frustration, definitely. You just have to be super, super patient, and you can't rush the process, and you can't settle for anything. Did you have money saved, or did you get a loan? So we got a loan, we got an FHA loan. We also did have money saved. Definitely you want to have a cushion and enough for a few months of the mortgage ready to go, just in case anything happens. Honestly, I did a few commercials last year that did really well, and I got a lot of residual income from them, and that was a big part of our down payment. Well, what will your next property be? Our next property will probably be another duplex, or maybe we will up it to a triplex. Honestly, a fourplex is something that we would have to look into our finances and see what we could get approved for as a second mortgage, or try to get an investor on board. So I think the next one we are going to do another duplex and do a similar situation where we are renovating the units, because that way we're buying loan, we're adding value to the property by just putting in kind of the sweat. It's called sweat equity, and just kind of working our asses off, but it ends up paying off in the long run because we're adding so much value to the property. So it can be rented out for higher prices, or we can sell it for way more than we bought it for. Okay, the final question is, what is your end goal with real estate investing? The end goal would just be passive income. Definitely want to be at a place where we have hundreds of units, I'm manifesting this, hundreds of units, have property managers handling it all, a team working under us. Like, that is the ideal situation. Because of what I do now, I'm influencing and doing commercial work and doing a bunch of other things, but I feel like real estate investing is definitely like the long-term end goal for us, and something that we can retire with and have generational wealth to pass down to our generations to come. So that is the goal, honestly. It's not to be rich, and it's not to have fast money or anything like that. It's really to build wealth and to be able to pass something down to our children and our grandchildren, and get to a place where we can just like pick and choose when we want to work, if we want to work, but know that we are chilling on our passive income of rental properties. And yeah, it sounds great. There's gonna be a lot of hard work to get there, but this video has gone on way too long, and I'm going to stop talking now. If you guys like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Make sure you're subscribed to my page, and if you want to see more content like this, I'm so down. Just let me know, because I love talking about it, clearly. That's it for this week. I will see you guys next week.